Thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions during the presentation, I've got my chat and my Q&A both open. So if you have a specific question about any of the tools I'm showing you today, definitely feel free to ask me and I'll be happy to answer them. Just talk a little bit about myself first, let you know who I am. My name is Brian Weeks, and I've been in the business for 23 years in the field of architecture. Just everything across the board. That as architects, we all wear multiple hats. And of course, in 23 years, I've worn a bunch of those hats. I've been at ATG now for 2.5 years. I've really enjoyed my time here because I'm still getting to practice architecture and work with architects from around the US. And how we do that is called ATG Team Augmentation. And what that is it's a program that ATG started. They started hiring AEC professionals to work at ATG. And so not only do they offer software and all the Autodesk and Bluebeam and everything that ATG offers, but now we also have AEC services that we can help your firm out. So if you guys get behind with work, or maybe you need help with your construction documents or BIM models or BIM families, even something as simple as templates, architecture firms, we just almost never have that time to develop those company templates and company families and standards. And that's where we can come in and help you with that. So if if that sounds interesting to you, you can hire myself or one of our AEC professionals and contact ATG for more information on that, and we can definitely set up a meeting. That's really what brought me here, and I kind of like to talk a little bit about that at the beginning. I also like to mention that I'm working on a BIM box. This is a workstation specifically designed for Revit. This is an amazing machine. I have the mobile laptop version. The one you see in the image is the desktop version. But I'm able to simultaneously run Revit and Inkscape and Zoom with my clients without a hiccup. It's and the version I have is 2 years old. So this is an amazing machine. And from my understanding, we actually have these available and in stock, ready to be built. With it, I think it's like a 14 to 15 day turnaround right now. So if your company is looking to upgrade your systems, also contact ATG and we can have a demo set up for you to take a look at those. So today we're going to take a look at creating and placing views and sheets using CTC Express tools. And there's quite a few Express tools that will help with creation of sheets and views. And with the tool sets, I'd never used these until I started working at ATG a couple years ago. CTC was acquired by ATG about a couple years before I started. But as an architect, I wish I had these tools when I worked in firms previously, because of the amount of time it actually helps to save the project architect, project manager, and even the draftsman in developing and creating views and sheets. So today we're going to take a look at, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the BIM project suite. We have quite a few tools in that suite, so I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about that. Then I'm going to jump into View Creator and show you some of the workflows I use using View Creator, both with new projects and existing projects. And then I'm going to close with Room Data Sheet tool, which allows me to create room data sheets from individual room selections. And I can develop those sheets based off of my company standards to then give to clients, or develop with CDs, even upwards of DDSD phases to coordinate those rooms. So let's just jump right in. talk a little bit about the BIM project suite. So BIM project suite consists of, you can see this toolbar up here, and you'll see it when I flip over. I'm not going to do the whole presentation in PowerPoint. I'm going to flip over to Revit here in a little bit so we can actually work through the tools. But with the project suite, there's a lot of tools at your disposal. The light green buttons are the free tools that each of our project suite, or each of our CTC tool suites, have a 14-day trial. So if you download the trial, you can use all the tools. After the 14 days, the light green buttons, you can still use those. Those are still free. The dark green buttons are, of course, going to be your premium tools. There's a lot of great premium tools in there, but like I said earlier, today we're going to take a look at View Creator, which is one of the premium tools, as well as the Room Data Sheet, which is also another premium tool. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First thing we're going to take a look at is View Creator. And View Creator has a lot of tools within one tool. And you can see at the top all these various tabs within View Creator: levels, plan, ceiling, elevation views, dependent views, schedules, sheets, title blocks, work sets, duplicate views, and view templates. And every one of these tabs has is a tool in and of itself that allows you to create new views based off of those tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and flip right over real quick to show you Revit and the tool set we're going to work with today. So across the top, you can see all my various CTC tools that we offer: BIM Batch Suite, BIM Manager Suite, BIM Project Suite's the one we're going to be looking at today. We also have Casework Configurator and a Superdoor Configurator, which are two tools that create family assemblies of casework and doors. And then Hive, which is our content management system in the cloud. Over here on our CTC BIM Project Suite, here's View Creator. And first thing I want to do, though, let's go ahead. I want to just create a new project real quick. And I'm going to show you two different workflows using the View Creator. First workflow is, we're starting a new project. We have the ones, the levels that come out of the box with this Revit template. And of course, your firm may have your own template set up. Whatever that setting is, these levels are kind of, out of the box from your firm standard. And that's pretty much what you're stuck with until you start creating new levels and new plans and new views. Well, using View Creator, it's very easy to do this rather than the traditional workflow, which is, we go View, Plan View, let's create a floor plan, and then we create those based off of our levels. But first we have to, create levels. And admittedly, being in the business for so long and using Revit for so long, the workflow I use is probably or possibly completely different from your workflow of creating stuff, because there's so many different ways to do it. So again, I'm just going to show you the way I create new levels typically when I'm in a project, not using the View Creator right now. And that would be if I go to, my elevations to where I can see all of my levels. And if I'm just going to create a new level, this would be one way to do it. And that would be just to click, drag, drop. If there's my level, if I need to shift stuff around, I have to, like if we made this 20 and then we made the roof level 30, we'd have to do that for over and over again for each level. And then we'd have to create views from that level using so if I were to come in here and go, let's change this real quick. I'm just going to show you the traditional way very quickly. Floor plan, level 3, so on and so forth. That's kind of the process we have to go through. But I'm going to come back here to my elevation again. But with the View Creator, let's just go ahead and delete level 3 again. Again, here are the tabs I discussed earlier, levels. That's what we're going to start with. And maybe I don't need these top of footings. Those come out of the box, you know, from Revit, and I can delete those separately. But right now I'm just wanting to make new levels. So it's as easy as saying new level, 20 feet. Let's go ahead and add 2 new levels. So I'm going to move my roof to 40. Add a level 4 and make that 30. And then it's going to create and update those levels. And it'll show me what it's done. So you can see them, 2 levels created, 1 level updated, and it just shifted all those levels for me. Well, let's say, you know, we didn't account for our space above our ceilings, or maybe we need more space between the slabs. So again, it's as easy as coming in here, updating those levels, and they automatically change and insert those. Well, now I need to create new floor plans based off of these views, or off of these new levels. But I also want to create new floor plans because remember, we started from a template, a scratch template. So I also want to create new floor plans based off of these levels that we have, based off of my company templates. Now, this I forgot, I just remembered this demo I have because I just started from a Revit template. I don't think I have many, I don't have any templates in this file. So let me hop back out and go to my actual demo file that I have, because I have, you know, view templates set up already, which most firms, you're going to have view templates set up in your project. I'm going to make this a little bigger here. And then I'm going to go ahead and change some of this stuff around. So if I add a level 5, it looks like we're going, well, let's get this to some numbers here that I can play with. 24, 36, 48, 60, 60, let's see, that's the parapet, 64. So what I just did was insert a new level 4 or new level 5, but now I'm also updating my various level heights. Now it will come back and it'll go, hey, we can't keep some stuff joined because in this project example, we already have walls built in and some of those are not attached to the walls correctly. Yep, so that's what's happening there. And that's fine. And that comes from doing a proper workflow. That's not going to do that now, is it? I duplicated that wrong, or the walls connected wrong. That happens when walls aren't connected correctly to the level, to the proper level. So hold on, let me cancel out of this. Yeah, that's fine. Now it updated it. So I basically was still able to update all my stuff. I just told it, you know, stop shifting all that around. The important part is when you have the project templates in here, which is what I was really trying to get to show you, was that just by selecting the level that I just created, I can now, you can see all my templates in here. I can now select the various templates that I might want to have views created of them. Presentation, maybe a working template. I want those to be a new construction of level 5 of all these templates. So let's add those. So here's the new views it's going to create. Now let me also add a ceiling plan, maybe architectural reflected, and maybe an existing and a general. Add those. And then if I just hit create views, it creates those 11 new views straight off, you know, just like that. Again, that's based off of that tab. Now, also, if you notice, I'm going to hit that again. It says, hey, you've already got these, you're duplicating views. That's good. That's something very cool to see when you use this tool, because maybe you forgot that you had duplicated that already or created that view. So it's going to tell you already have it. The other thing I wanted to show you was that this is the naming convention I had just as a default, how the views are going to show up in my project browser, but you can modify those view names to how you want them to read, how your firm uses that standard level view template phase, and you just kind of pick that order that you're organizing those in. I'm going to go ahead and hit remove all, since we've already done those three. And then if I exit back out, you can see over here I've actually got my new views created. There's the new 5th floor code plan, new let's see, 5th floor, maybe the finished plan. Now, on this particular demo that we use, this is actually the CTC headquarters in Minneapolis, is that it has 2 plan regions because of the size of the building. So there's, regions over here and a regions over here. Now, one of the other cool things with View Creator that you can do is create duplicate views of those plan regions. So this is a really great part of this tool as well, because now all these new plans that I just created need to have plan region created for those views. And using this tool, it's actually going to create an exact duplicate of those plan regions. So when you place them on sheets, all those views are going to look exactly the same, the same crop region, that plan crop region. So by selecting area A, area B, create dependent views. And just like that, within 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how many views you've created or selected, it's going to create those dependent views. So 22 new views just like that. Let's go ahead and close it so you can see, again, plan region A, plan region B, and then just to show you that plan region A actually matches the plan region A over here. I love it. It's so fast to be able to set up your view, set up your project, even before you've started, not only before you've even started your project, setting up your levels and views, but then after you've started your project and you have determined that you are going to need plan regions to divide your project into 2 parts, then being able to go back and create all those dependent views just like that. This tool will also let you create duplicate elevation views. So very helpful if you have whether it's exterior elevations that maybe you're going to be doing some renovation work, and here's our existing exterior, and we need a new elevation of that exact same elevation, but as a different phase, then you can use this tool to create, existing or new. So anyway, great tool. Existing, you can also, or elevation views, you can also use it to duplicate schedules, sheets, title blocks, work sets, which this demo doesn't have work sets, duplicate views. And then view templates is another one of my favorite parts of this View Creator, because it allows me to organize all my view templates and my views. So on the left side are views that do not have a view template association, and on the right are all my view templates. So if I were to come over here and look at my plans, and I can come over here and look at my views. Let's look at floor plans. Oh, look, so I have some demo plans that don't have a template. Well, there's my demo plan. Let's just drag and drop those over here. There's a code plan. Drag and drop. Maybe some sections. Let's look at sections. Here's a couple of building sections that do not have an association. So if I scroll down here to, or scroll up to sections, building section, wall section, so on and so forth, drag, drop, you can go left to right, right to left, however you need to remove or add view templates, then apply those changes. And very quickly and easily, it has updated all of those views and assigned new view templates to those views. So I love that tool as well. Definitely cuts out a lot of the traditional going to the view, scrolling down, selecting the view template, picking the one you want. This tool allows you to very quickly just go back and forth. So again, that was a really quick overview on View Creator, but the ability to create new views, create all these different elevation views, plans based on templates, schedules based on levels and phases, the ability to duplicate all that. Sheets, I didn't even cover sheets. I love sheets because it allows me to kind of globally modify what sheet is currently assigned to or what sheet border is currently assigned to that template. So I can, or to that view, excuse me. So I can select, here's all my demos. Maybe I want to put them on 24 by 34, which, 24 by 36. Then I can select those, process it. Those will change all of those title blocks to that new title block. I can also add sheets just by typing in down here what that is. Like, so very quickly able to add multiple sheets on just kind of the fly here. But I can also batch add sheets. And this comes in handy when we're working with consultants that maybe aren't in Revit yet. Civil happens a lot, even audio visual consultants, any kind of consultant that you are not able to link in their project and get their sheets, but we have to include their sheets in the title block. I just type those out by hand. The other way to do it would be to actually copy paste from the email that your consultant sent you. And then just by doing that very quickly, creating new sheets off of those views I just created or typed in and copy pasted. So great tool, View Creator. Any questions on View Creator before I kind of hop into the next part of our presentation today? All right, let's go ahead and get right in it then. Room data sheets. It's another fun tool to use because it allows you to very quickly generate sheets and views based off of a specific room that you select. This tool has been very helpful for a lot of our interior design consultants that we work with, as well as architect firms, because when you're dealing with clients that have a design with either a lot of types of rooms, and the example I use is medical or even multi-family, hospitality. So you're going to have a room type that will repeat throughout your project. And by creating a room data sheet, you can give your client a sheet, a list of, here's the queen size room. And in this queen size room, you can have this type of furniture. So you can actually add a schedule of the furniture that you've put in your project that's in your Revit model, create a schedule list, furniture, equipment, maybe even finishes. Here's the elevations of that room. Here is a 3D isometric of that room. So there's a lot of things that you can put on this one data sheet that allow your clients to review your project and review the individual room designs very easily, because they can have it in their hand, they can hold it and look at it and then review and comment on those rooms, that room layout. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go ahead and, if you guys might have had time to read through some of this about the repetitive tasks and what this solution does, how it makes this room data sheet. But of course, I'm going to jump into here and just actually show you how it works. So let's go ahead and I'm going to close out and get back to just one of my regular plans here. And up here for room data sheets. And like I said, we've used this with a lot of our clients to develop those SDDD interior design or architectural design projects because of its ease of use. And how this works, I'm going to just kind of, let me make this big real quick and just talk about the interface. How this works is up here at this top left, pick rooms or spaces. Pretty self-explanatory. This is where you select the rooms that you're going to generate with this tool. On the bottom are the views that you create to be placed on your sheet. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. There's a variety of different views that you can create by just adding a row and selecting 3D, floor plan, reflected sun plan, elevations, schedules, legends, key plans, and then layout such as a page break or a row break. So I'll talk my way through this and show you how this works. And then over on the right is going to actually be our preview sheet layout. And once we select a room, this tool is going to generate a preview to show us what the views that we've selected, that we've specified, are going to lay out on our sheet. So let me, before I get in, I also want to comment up here at the top, we have our configuration. And this is a great thing about this tool as well, is that once your firm develops a standard, you can have your project architect or project manager develop a company standard on the view layout. You can save that configuration and then share it with your members of your company. So any of your project managers, project architects that need to use this tool, they can load that configuration. They'll get the same identical layout that your firm has approved, select the rooms, and now all of your room data sheets across every project are going to look the same. So that's a very cool feature. So this work that you're doing down here to set it up exactly the way you want your sheets to look, you're not losing that on every time. And that's where the return on your investment comes from, because you spend a little bit more time on up front, and now every project, it's just boom, we've got it selected. We don't need to do anything but pick our rooms, load that configuration. The other thing I like to show is we can actually take a look and see all of our view and sheet names. So there's some ways that we can update and specify rooms or spaces. Got a little bit more control over those views, sheets, and then updates between those. So if you have some views that have changed as they tie into this tool, you can kind of refresh those and update. Options, such as general options on how you want the tool to look. But the other thing I always like to show off is the CTC support. You know, we have our typical help. We also have our direct contact support, but this is my favorite part of all of the CTC tools, is that they have a button for videos. And when you click on it, it takes you to YouTube and shows you some, you know, a demo or a walkthrough of how to use the tool. So even after today, if we, you know, you step away and you go, man, that tool was really cool, and you get it, but then you forget how, you know, how to do stuff, definitely you can click on the video. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to select a room, and I'm just going to do one for today, because of course, the more you take or select, the longer it takes to generate. And just for the sake of this demo, I'm going to select one room, click finish. And so what it's getting ready to do, it's making this window big again, but then it's also going to generate a preview for me, because I already have some settings in here at the moment. But I do want to, I'm going to show you how those settings were generated. Give it just a second here to do that preview. and then I can refresh, and it's going to show here's my sample page layout. If you look at the numbers over here, they coincide with the numbers of my views, floor plan, reflected ceiling plan, so on and so forth. How these were created were that I hit floor plan. That's the view that's been created from my adding a row. So I can just show you, let me get rid of that and see how it swapped it all out. But I'm going to go ahead and add a row of floor plan. I want to go ahead and move that back up to the top because in my organization, I want the floor plan to be the first thing we look at. Then I can, you see the various controls right here, floor plan, reflected ceiling, floor plan view. They all have the similar layout. Browser organization, and that's just how we want to organize those new views that it's going to create in our project browser. And I usually just leave that at default. View name, we can come in here and specify how we want the view to be named in our project. So when it creates that new view and puts it on the plan or puts it in the project browser, that's how it's going to be organized. Again, I usually just kind of leave those as default: number, name, template. This is where it really gets cool because now I can specify what kind of view template I want associated with that view. And in this case, I've got architectural plan. You might have a variety of different plans like I do, plan views, or excuse me, view templates, code, demo, so on and so forth. And by adding additional views every time you do this, if I go ahead and I'm going to minimize reflected ceiling, you can see down here I've got my code plan, and then I've got my architectural plan. And so you can put those in there at the same time. I'm going to move that up so my reflected ceiling is after. Then you can specify your scale, custom scale, or if there's a scale associated with your template. But typically, because of how we arrange the sheets, I typically like to control that through this location so I can tell it, I want it to fit in that space that I'm generating. So you can also see that 3 is my reflected ceiling plan. But we've got looks like there's a crop difference here, and that's going to be offset. So let's do this. I'm going to delete that. Let's add a new, that way they match. Move this up. Set it to reflected ceiling plan. Now and 3/16. And I'm just doing 3/16 because in order to get this on this is right now I've got it selected a 30 by 34 by 44, but maybe I want to, let's see, I can change it to a 30 by 42. And you can see how every time I change the sheet, if I change it to a smaller sheet, it's going to break those up to fit on a sheet. So that's really cool as well. If I need to go down to 11 by 17, then of course you're going to have to kind of play with your scales. And the real key is at the very beginning of your creating your company standards, your company configuration, determine, hey, are we going to hand these out on 11 by 17? That's typically easier, but then that means your scale is either going to be smaller or you're going to have to rotate the view, which you can do that as well. Change your view settings through your template. Offset and cut plane offset. This is settings that determine how far away from your room the crop region is set to. So in this case, 3 feet is being set outside. When I selected the support, it's doing a 3-foot offset outside of that room. And then the cut plane offset is at the height at which it needs to, that the floor is being cut, the view range. And so that's important too, because if you have furniture, you need to make sure that, you know, you're kind of covering. These are desks, so 6 foot should be good. And again, it's all about kind of getting the settings, playing with the settings, telling, you know, the scale, telling it how you want these to fit, 3D view. And it works really the same way with each and every one of these. Add a row, tell it what you want, you know, select what you're wanting, and then modify those settings and assign them a template and the scale to get those to show up right. I'm going to go back to a bigger sheet though, so we can maybe see these all generated on one sheet. So that's my 3D view. These are going to be my elevations that it's created. And you can see it's actually, because of the size of one of the elevations, it's actually cropped that off. So let's do, I want to do something a little different here. Let's add, or actually this is a row break. Let's change this to a page break and then refresh and see. Cool. Now I've got my elevations on one sheet. I can change the scale if I want to get those maybe a little smaller to fit in a row, or I could even change them to a larger scale. Oh, I went the wrong way. I went 1/4 inch, didn't I? Sorry about that. 3/16. Let's go 1/8. And that way, if I want to get all my elevations on one row, you know, I can do that on 2 separate sheets. Or I might even be able to, let's do it this way. And again, I'm kind of just playing around right now to show you the variations of how you can set this up. It's really going to determine, you know, be determined by your company standards. How do you want this layout to be, and consistently change that. Let's go ahead and look at my schedule view too. Right now I've got a room schedule. Maybe I want to change it to, maybe I could do 2 schedules. Let's do room schedule. And I know this particular demo I'm using, I don't have a whole lot of data for these rooms because it's just a demo project. But if you had like your full room finishes and everything else, that would be listed out. But maybe I'll also want to add, I just added another schedule. Let's add, yeah, there we go, furniture schedule. But let's not just do the first floor. Is there, can I do all of the furniture like that? Let's regen and see what that does. Okay, so that one's longer because there's more furniture in my project. So in this case, I probably do want to turn this into, let's see, let's turn this into a page break, just so I can kind of get my schedules on a sheet. Or I could always try to do some adjustment up here as well. But for now, let's just leave it at that. Let's, I want to show you how this works. So once you get all this set, again, I can save my configuration. If I want to keep this for future uses, save that configuration. Let's see. Something like that. And then hit create sheets. Now, like I said earlier, the more rooms you select, the longer this will take to generate, because it is right now going through your project and generating these new views based on the parameters you set over here and the parameters that are in your view templates, and creating the sheets at the same time. And now it's done, even though I just selected one room, so it goes a little faster. But if you select multiple rooms in your project, it will of course take longer. I'm going to go ahead, I'm done. Let's go ahead and close it. And now I'm going to scroll down here to my sheets. support 1, support 2. These titles were based off of, well, RDS, room data sheets, but you can come in and actually specify, I skipped over that, I apologize, right here in the middle, that's where you would actually specify how you want your naming conventions to be. Maybe it's by room number, maybe it's just name, and maybe you don't want the RDS. You can add increments and sheet numberings to those new sheets as it creates it. Very easy to make those adjustments. But let's go ahead and take a look at what it created for us. So you can look at this. I'm using the out of the box Revit border. So there's a huge border on it. Plus I've got a huge side panel here that we would need to adjust. Those would be adjusted. Whoop, I selected View Creator. Those would be adjusted in the room data sheet setting over here, which would be what is my right margin. So in this case, I'd probably want to make that about 6 inches, whatever that distance would be, so I could fit all that stuff in there appropriately. Ideally, I think most firms that I've worked for, we've had a narrower title block on the sheet than that. You can see how it's created the views for all those selections that we made for the templates. Don't know, I need to look at, I must not have had a title selected in there. Let's take a look. Because see how it didn't actually, it assigned it a no title. These assigned a title. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, I didn't select it right there. That's where you would select your naming of your viewport titles. So if you do have maybe a variety of title families that your firm uses, maybe for room data sheets, you might have a different title block created, then you can specify those there. Again, elevations, all these settings are going to be the columns and the levels. Those are all going to be set according to the template that you select. So if I were to select maybe a different template while I was generating my project or generating these views, whether it's leaving out the column grids, shading, color, not color, it all depends on how you set up your view templates. Same with my crop region. I don't think I see how high that crop is. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't set my offsets in that. So you can see my top offset is actually -1. So it's actually outside of my room area. That's the other thing too I might mention, is that the way the 3D view operates, how this creates that, and all these settings and all these views is going to be based on your actual room itself. So let me see, I keep missing it. There we go. So the actual room volume and where that room is located and how tall it is, how high it is in your project. Does it go floor to floor, or is it just 10 foot, or that is what determines the volume of your room. So if those are set incorrectly, then when it creates, such as the 3D of the 3D ISO of this room, then it's not going to possibly grab the whole room. So again, play with the settings, develop a company standard, spend a day kind of coming in and out, generating sheets, playing with those view settings, get the feel that you want, and then save it. Here's the schedules. So this is very helpful. Like I said, if we're doing, and I would probably change my template setting to itemize this, so we could just do a count instead of individual numbers or individual pieces, furniture pieces. But if you're doing like medical facility, you know, each of your furniture pieces would be, here's the bed, here's the EKG, here's, you know, any of the equipment that we have in our room. So this can be very helpful for that as well. Keeping track of furniture, equipment, any schedule that you can generate in Revit based off of Revit family elements that you can set up a schedule. This tool will create views for it and create, you know, show those schedules. And that's a very cool thing too, is because it actually is also sorting and just showing the elements that are in that room space, that room area. Okay, well, hey, we're getting close on time. That's it for the room data sheets as well. It's a very in-depth tool. You know, it takes kind of some practice to get it just right. And like I said, if you play around with it, you get your company's settings and standards saved, then definitely that speeds up that process for everyone in your firm. Let's see, can this tool also show rooms by program? Looking for a way to show program ratios such as conference rooms to offices. Let's see, so if I understand correctly, you're developing the rooms and assigning the rooms a parameter that is a program parameter. Is that a correct? Okay. So if you had a parameter that was, and your room was assigned to that program parameter, and assuming, I'm trying to assume how you have it set up in your company, if it was a parameter associated with that room, then the way to do that would be to have a schedule. You could have a program schedule that sorts rooms by the program type. And then you could actually create a schedule, you know, based off of the template, the way that this tool works. You know, you could, and I'm assuming, without really playing with it, but I think because it's a parameter in Revit, that's kind of hard coded to that room value, that room or space, then I would think that yes, you could add a schedule view that would say, you know, if you had a schedule created in your projects that would say program ratio or whatever, you know, to list the rooms. Now you would probably have to select multiple rooms to make that happen. That's a guess that you could do that. Another way you could do that, you might be able to use, and I'd have to, this is definitely a demo for another day. You could actually use Spreadsheet Link Schedule Excel. These two tools allow you to create Excel spreadsheets within Revit and apply formulas to those spreadsheets, just like you do in Excel. And by doing that, you could probably be able to select the room parameter, the project. So if I went rooms, and then I had a, what's it called, program ratio parameter, then I would come down here and I'd select a program ratio parameter and be able to sort and calculate that data. That would be another option, I think. And then that would create you a schedule that then your room data sheets could put on your drawings as well. Yeah, Spreadsheet Link is really cool because you can, here, let me, yes, I'm going to open one real quick. This is another one of my favorite tools that I use quite a bit with my clients because it allows me to, well, like I said, you can use Excel within Revit, and by creating parameters that I can analyze, then I can create schedules. And this is the IBC plumbing fixture schedules that I've created that can analyze data in my project, and in this case, kick out my fixture counts. Very cool ability. And so by using this tool, to answer your question, I think you would be able to extract that program data, that program ratio data this way, or just creating a schedule within Revit that would be kind of a dumb schedule that wouldn't actually calculate. You just have to filter and sort. Yeah, some very cool tools. Definitely, if your firm is interested in some of these other ones that I didn't get to cover, Visibility Advisor, Occupancy Flow, there's some great tools that CTC offers that I use quite a bit in my weekly workflows with architects. So anyway, I answer your question, long answer. I think you would be able to do that if that program ratio was a parameter in your project and associated to the rooms that you selected. Very great question. I've never had that asked before, so definitely. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all for joining me today. If you do want to see maybe a further demo on just the CTC tools and the variety of tool sets that we offer, definitely contact us, ATG USA. We can get you in touch with your regional sales representative to schedule a presentation. And have a great week. Have a great rest of the week, and everyone have a great weekend. Thank you again, and thank you for visiting ATG.